everybody. Welcome back to Off the Charts. As you know from past episodes, I'm Mike Loukas, the CEO of TrueShares. And in Off the Charts, we try to bring in guests from all different aspects of the ETF or investment ecosystem and other aspects of life, as most of the audience has seen prior. Today, I'm really happy to have the founder of ETF Action join us, Mike Akins. Mike, welcome to Off the Charts.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mike. It's great to be here.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for pulling yourself away from the World Cup. I guess that's what people are doing right now. Is that?
Seems like it. I've watched one game, and I'll let you guess which one that is.
Yeah, it was a 4-0 blowout. That's my guess. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you and me the same. But Mike, look, we've known each other quite a few years, and you know, I respect you as an entrepreneur. I think we were around when ETF Action launched 6, 7, 8 years ago. How long has it been?
8 years this month.
8 years. 8 years this month. So, yeah, we both look exactly the same as we did back then. So that's good news. But look, you've been through the growth spurt and the trials and tribulations of starting your own shop, as have we. And I always find it useful when we have entrepreneurs on the show just to take a couple of minutes off the top and hear a little bit about, you know, what you've seen throughout that trend. Have you had to make any pivots and you know, what are the decision points that have led you to your success as we sit today?
You know, I think the biggest thing was believing in what we were doing it get from the get-go, right? So, you know, my background, I've been in the ETF business now for well over 20 years, built out an ETF unit for a mid-sized issuer here in Denver, Colorado, and I felt very, very confident in the continued growth of the ETF space. And I felt that pretty strongly that advisors and investors as a whole were kind of missing some of the key elements of the ETF market, how they should be used, how they should be thought about. So, you know, we started off as a data intelligence platform, and that was our core business offering. And today, that is our core business offering. We are a data intelligence offering for the ETF market. But how we deliver that has changed about a bazillion times, because finding product fit is really hard. And we serve kind of three main audiences at ETF Action. We have the financial advisor community, which is our largest audience by far. But the advisor community, you know, they sit at the top of the food stack in our business. We were talking about that before, but you know, we want to empower them to do the best for their clients and provide the tools and aspects. But you know, a lot of times how you monetize a product then is through specific solutions. So that's been our biggest challenge, and probably what's led to our growth as of recently is we're starting to find that product fit in terms of model portfolios, in terms of helping issuers connect with the advisor community. So it's been a lot of trials and tribulations, but a lot of fun along the way. You know, one thing I would say about starting your own company, it's incredibly empowering, it's exciting, it's fun, it's ridiculously stressful. But the best piece of advice I got, and luckily I took it to heart, came from a few people, but was expect it to take twice as long and cost twice as much. And
Yep.
boy, is that true.
Yep. Yep. That's
Um,
I mean, I can fully endorse those two pieces of advice. Sometimes it costs 3 times as much.
yeah. Ask my wife; she'll tell you 5 times.
Well, look, I mean, we were believers in what you were doing from the get-go, and I think that, you know, what we do at TrueShare is obviously, you know, we provide portfolio solutions to the financial intermediary market, as you know, and that comes along with a heck of a lot of data analytics and research. And I think the investment landscape has gotten so, um, I'm not going to say complicated. I'm not going to say convoluted. I am going to say crowded. And certainly the solutions available to investors and advisors alike are many across the spectrums and asset classes. And sifting through all that and understanding what all that amounts to, I think, is one of the hardest jobs in the business right now. So, you know, for the audience, you maybe 2 seconds or 2 minutes on your core belief and, you know, why you thought at the time and how that's proven out that delivering those analytics to the ecosystem was a pain point that needed to be solved. And I would imagine the demand for that's only growing.
Yeah. So my biggest thing with the ETF market or any financial investment product for that matter is 9 times out of 10, the product delivers on its objective. So if you think about, finding an ETF and reading about it, and if you truly read the prospectus and read the objectives, most of them deliver on that. Now, there are others that just have missed the boat and they're delivered bad experiences for their investors. But if you ask the average person that bought that product if their experience has been 90% positive, you'd probably wouldn't get that same answer. And I think it's because they don't know how to properly use it. And that was our big driving force is we wanted to provide a way for advisors to understand or investors as a whole to understand how these products should be used. And you guys have a great example, right? You guys have a series of buffer ETFs that are very competitive, but they're unique to the other 456 buffer ETFs that are out there. And it's not a one size fits all world when it comes to investing. And sometimes I think people try to do that. They try to say, well, it's a buffer ETF. One buffer ETF is just like every other buffer ETF. And well, as you know, and we have a mountain of data to prove that is not the case. And that can go through every segment of the market. So one of the biggest things that we do as a firm is to help people navigate, just simply navigate. Hey, if I'm looking for a buffer ETF, what are the key things that I need to understand? Why I'm using it? Am I more interested in upside? Am I more interested in a specific downside? What is my reset price? All that stuff is in. If you have the data and a tech stack, it can be pretty easy to navigate. But without it, you're really blind, hoping that you pick the right product that aligns to your objectives. So that's the big thing for us is just that aspect of there's 5,400 ETFs. Think about that, Mike. When I launched when my team and I launched ETF Action, there was 1,000 ETFs and there was probably 80, 85 issuers in the market. Today there's 5,400 and there's over 500 individual brands in the market. That's great. Choice is awesome, but with choice comes responsibility and understanding what you're choosing.
Absolutely. The space is so crowded now. And frankly, the ability to differentiate as an issuer like we are is so dependent upon empirical support and providing the correct analytics, helping investors, advisors understand where strategies fit. But I think you touched upon something early in that last segment there that makes a ton of sense to me and resonates a lot is most ETFs deliver on their investment objective. So it's understanding what that investment objective actually is and how it fits into your holistic viewpoint. That's what we have always struggled with in our day-to-day conversations is helping folks understand where to put these things and what the impact is in your overall investment profile. So uh, ETF Action's been a great help in that. I wholeheartedly echo everything you've said about the business. It's grown exponentially, and any educational tool or analytical tool that can impact that decision-making process, make it more efficient, make it more focused, is absolutely worthwhile. So I'm glad you started the company you did. We've been using you for years, and keep up the great work. 2-second plug for ETF Action. If people want to understand a bit more about it, where should they go?
Just go to etfaction.com, read some of our content, and top right corner there's a member access button. Create an account. We provide, as you know, we have our premium side of the business and work with great partners like you guys, but we also provide a plethora of free tools and resources in terms of navigating. And just check it out if you like the ETF market, if you want to be able to navigate it better. The biggest plug is to create an account. There's no credit card or anything required, and somebody from my team will reach out and provide you that guidance that maybe you were missing in terms of understanding what's happening in this crazy market of ours.
Well, I think every day we wake up, we're all missing something
Oh
because
my goodness.
it's changing so quickly. It's
Yeah. I mean, hey,
crazy.
I classified 12 single stock SpaceX ETFs this morning.
I mean, I mean, okay, we usually keep this under 10 minutes. Let's take it a little bit longer because wow, that's what I just have to say. Like, it's just, and then the varied opinions about this too, right? And never before have I seen an IPO come out at a historic level like SpaceX obviously did. And I think we've got a few more in the pipeline, right, coming down the road. But um, in the polarization of that event on one level has been mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
But on the practical sense, what it actually means to the marketplace, how it actually has shifted it, and then the derivative or ancillary products that come out of it. To your point, leveraged ETFs. I mean, I think the options start to trade today.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's insane.
yeah, it's just the volume has been off the charts and everything, and um, for you know people like us in the industry, it's really kind of cool, right? The whole thing's pretty cool.
It's fun to
Uh,
watch.
yeah, it's fun to watch, but I mean, how do you think it's gonna replay like that with Open AI when they come, or uh, what's Anthropic when they come?
Anthropic is coming out. Yeah.
Mm,
I
yeah,
mean, I think it'll play out that way until there's a reason for it not to.
mm,
I mean, I am a big believer in access vehicles, and quite frankly, I don't think there's no way I'm touching a levered single stock ETF that is trading at a $2.5 trillion valuation and 150 times next year's earnings. But if you're going to do it, one could argue that the ETF is safer than trying to do it in your margin account yourself, and you might probably get, if you're an average investor, get better execution. But I do think that it brings in that dynamic that the ETF market, there are buy it and forget it type of products. There are products that are, buy it and manage it that take a little bit more understanding. And there are trades. And the market has become overwhelmingly, in my opinion, not in a good way, a little bit of a trading. And there's been a lot of gamification going on.
yeah.
But it's not the first time. And I won't speak for you, but I've been through this before.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I was there.
Generally, it ends in tears for most.
Yeah,
But I can't say that that is the issuer's fault, or I can't say that it's. There are plenty of people like look at T Triple Q, right? Like that fund has delivered an insane amount of returns back to its investors. Now, those that are holding on when the music stops are going to feel the wrath of triple 3x leverage. But
yeah,
there's been a lot of success stories along the way, so I'm not against it. I worry that the mechanics of the market are getting a little out of whack in terms of, take something like DRAM just launched. It's a $16
yeah,
billion ETF, fastest
yeah,
grower ever. I think it's an excellent way to own the 8 memory stocks in the world. But because of these vehicles, you're seeing entire investment theses play out overnight in terms of potential return.
yeah.
And the question will be, is the investor experience the same as the total return experience of the fund?
Yeah, it's a really interesting perspective on it because I always say myself, I say, look, there's a difference between an investment and a trade. And lots of money can be made on both sides of the fence, whether you're tactically trading or you're investing. But they are different. And to answer your earlier point, yeah, I was here in San Francisco in 2000, when you had to rent a desk back then to day trade, right? But they were doing it, and now the access and the speed and the efficiency has just become even greater. So it's an interesting point. You're right. I mean, investment theses are compressed now, because the access and the movement of capital creates a self-fulfilling prophecy in some circumstances. But with any trading approach, yeah, someone's left holding the bag, whether it be Bitcoin or whether it be some, other meteoric rise and potential meteoric fall. Which ones are which? I don't know, but that's not the point for us, right? For issuers, the idea is if someone asks for a flathead screwdriver or a Phillips head screwdriver, we provide it for them.
Amen.
Yeah,
That is the
and
best way
they
to
still
put it.
build what they want to build. And we do the best to make sure that screwdriver works and delivers as advertised. So yeah, I think that's the nature of the beast these days.
Exactly. No, I couldn't have said it better myself. That is a wonderful way to think about it. It's just they are tools, right? And my dad is a carpenter, and I would go into his shed and I'd watch what he could build with his tools compared to what I could build with them. They were two different things, and I think that exists in the investing world too.
Yep, absolutely. Well, look, Mike, always great to see you. Thanks for taking a few minutes. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll catch up soon. And congrats on all
That's
the success.
Thanks. You too, Mike. Really appreciate your guys' partnership.